Let me now introduce the next panelist of the program, young and dynamic Mr. Mahesh Jain. He is the grade lead at the Somya School, Mumbai. He is an experienced trainer who has trained over 3,000 teachers across the country during 20 plus webinars. His webinars on digital tools for teaching online made the teaching learning process easier for teachers across India during lockdowns. We are really grateful to you, sir. He has conducted webinars with educational organizations like Adhyan, MyTrustedTutor.com, Teachers Help Teacher, and schools across Maharashtra. Mr. Mahesh is going to touch upon few of the biggest reforms the NEP has brought up at primary and secondary level of education. Over to you, Mr. Mahesh.
Thank you, Sunita ma'am. Am I audible? Okay. Great. So I would like to begin here with what Kalpesh sir has said. He said that good teacher changes the scenario of a classroom, and I feel this is one of the best statement which anyone can pass it out for teachers, because I know how teachers are feeling right now because of the online experiences. It's been like whatever X number of experience we have had has all gone into zero because of coming onto the online setup. First of all, we became zero with the experience when we came up to online session. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit before I actually move on to online setup, because teachers of India are actually the fighters. I won't say teachers of India, teachers across world are actually fighters, and they are actually coming out very well during this lockdown. So coming up to the thought process, before I begin, it's one quote which I found, which is very important and relevant at this moment to say, which says that change is hardest at the beginning, messiest in the center, somewhere in the middle, and the best towards the end. This is a quote which I learned. I saw it on internet and I picked it up. Now, why I picked it here is because when I'm looking at the national education policy, this thought is coming into my mind that the policy is very good. I'm going to talk about the policy for schools overall. What are the outlooks about it, and what are my perspective about national education policy. So there are few changes which are being done. There are few recommendations which are being passed on, and I feel those recommendations somewhere are very important because they are based on scientific temper and scientific studies. So let's go ahead with some points which are already mentioned. So the first and foremost change is the change in the setup. So we had initially 10 plus 2. Now that is being changed to 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. That does not mean that the 10 plus 2 which was there is totally gone. It is in the phase, it will move ahead, and now we'll be having the process of 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. And previously the government was looking at the students, school students for 12 years. Now it would be 15 years. And where are the breakups are happening? First 5 years for the foundation. It has been mentioned that 85% of the brain's development in the student happen in the initial years. So it's very important that those initial years are being catered by the education system. So the process of ECCE, which is early child care education, is being given due recognition, and now it will fall under the school system. Till now it was not under the school system, and now it will be a part of the school system. I guess this is very good thing which will help all the students to learn better, and the transition from the pre-primary setup to the grade 1 level will become very smooth. So initial first 5 years which are being taken as a foundation level are taken with 3 years of pre-primary or Anganwadi setups and 2 years of grade 1 and 2. From here, when we move on to the next stage, it comes out to be preparatory stage. So the foundation stage is a playway method where student will learn, and it is very important for the student to learn, because it has been found out that if the initial years we won't provide them required support, then the development will not be as good as it is required. So the next level is a primary level where we are talking about the preparatory session, 3 years, which is grade 3, 4, 5. Here, student will start learning a little bit in terms of understanding what the examination process will be. And further on, when we move ahead, which is the middle school, there have been some changes which have been introduced. So when we are talking about the changes, first change I won't say changes. There are things which are already happening. I belong to the Somaya school, which is a CBSE school, and I have experienced many things which are rightly happening. The things which are mentioned in this NEP, I have observed that those things are already happening. Like the example of a cluster system, which is already been introduced by a CBSE board, and when coming up to the process of middle school and secondary, now there will be inclusion of vocational studies. So student will be introduced with the vocational subjects. There will be certain skills which will be taught to the student, and so coding is now a trending thing after the NEP came up. Coding has become a trending. Grade 6 onwards, coding will be there. So that has become sort of trending for all of us. So this is one thing where we are discussing that at this level 6 to 8 students are starting to ask question, and they are starting to think about how they can, if they like a skill, can they pursue. So yes, this NEP gives us a platform that they can pursue, and they can also do the internship, where rather we can say that they will be motivated to do internship and to learn about the skills also. So it's very important that whether they pursue that skill or not, but they understand that how skills are also important, how the craftsmanship, how the machinery works, all those skills are also very important at these stages if student learns. And later on, going ahead, the last stage of the school system is going to be the last 4 years, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. 10th board is there, 12th board is there, but there's a small change in the setup of examination which is being proposed, which is going to be, now till now we were having only one exam towards the end, which is a board exam for 12th standard, and same for 10th standard. And now in place of that, we'll be also having 10th and 12th will be there, but for 9th and 10th, 9th and 11th, we'll be having a semester pattern where student will have to regularly study and study, so that it's not that if you just by heart something and towards the end you just put it on paper and you get the marks. So because that is happening, and that is also creating a culture of coaching classes where people are just going and they're just studying only for this final examination. So a lot of emphasis is also placed on learning for fun and learning for actual purpose of learning, not for getting only the scores on the sheet. So it's very important that students are learning for the purpose of learning, and the whole idea of education, which is to give a student the perspective so that the student can lead the future of the country, is being taken care into the national education policy. Coming up to another point which I saw in the NEP, which talks about I guess I already discussed inclusion of preschool to mainstream school, how it is important. The next one is emphasis on multiple languages. So it is very important. At our school, from grade 1 to 5, we have 5 languages compulsory for the students. And now even NEP says that regional languages will be given preferences. It's never been forced that you have to go for this languages. That is that will be decided by respective states. But the preference is given to the regional languages so that students also understand. They learn best because they are talking into their regional languages. They are using their mother tongue to talk, and that way student will definitely understand more, and that will help the student to move forward. Now coming up to also languages, our languages are also filled with a lot of content which is connected to our culture. So that culture, that ethos of being Indian and Indian citizen is going to be very important, which is being emphasized in the national education policy as well. The next topic is vocational education. I spoke about it. The boundary of subjects. Yes, the last 2 years when we are talking about 11th and 12th, the boundary of subject which we had, which the pattern in which we have studied, it was like you take arts, you take science, or you take commerce. That is going to go away from now onwards. After the NEP and the curriculum framework comes into existence, which will take a little amount of time, maybe 1 or 2 years. And there we will understand that student will be given opportunity to select the subject of their own choice. There will be no forcing, but options will be given, and based on that student will select the choice. And this way a student who is interested in studying one part of science, the other part of subject which is not related to science, but the student find it interesting and there is option available, they can pick it up. So this is one thing which I feel is very appreciable. Although what we have seen in the CBSE 11th standard, the option of stream is already gone. So, which is already mentioned in the NEP also. About the paper pattern is going to be now based on after the NEP and everything is put into force, the paper pattern is going to be changed, totally changed, because now we'll not be having direct questions which are based on rote memory. There are going to be objective, there are going to be subjective, but more emphasis would be on learning. Now, there's one important part is till now we used to have a report card with only curricular marks and co-curricular. The breaking that ये teacher यहाँ पढ़ा रहा है तो pre-primary teacher, primary teacher, secondary teacher, higher secondary teacher, that barrier is going to go away. So it's going to be teacher, you teach at any level, you teach your level best. That's what is required. For that purpose also, even for students, the support of student, parents and teachers and everyone will be taken care. And now the report card will be made, which is going to be the holistic report card, which will take care of the 360-degree approach. So when we talk about 360-degree approach, it's not only going to be the academic score of the student, but also the co-curricular work, the self-assessment of the student. So student will do their own assessment, the peer assessments which their friends and other students will give. The teacher assessment will also be taken care into the report card setup when we are talking about the new education policy. That's what is one of the things proposed, which I feel is very important, because nowadays we have somehow given more importance to curricular and we feel that extracurriculars are sort of a waste of time. But now we have started thinking ahead and we have started giving importance that those subjects are also creating a lot of importance for the students. And there is going to be definitely a reduction in the syllabus, which will help the student to understand the concept in a best possible manner with having time so that they can do better and better. Coming ahead to the next part, which is the formation of cluster. Now, this is one concept now which is in CBSE, we what I have heard and what we have seen at our school also, the cluster setup is already there, but now it is going to be overall. What it says is that if there are multiple schools in a particular area, they can share their resources. So it's not necessary that if you don't have a particular teacher, you have a cluster and you can decide and discuss based on that, and that will help in the end to the student. The process is going to be decided by the state government and the respective departments and the boards, but this will definitely help all of us in moving up with the better process for the student, because in the end it's the student who are going to get the benefit out of this setup. So this is one of the things which national education policy has also brought up. Next, when we come up to the expansion and timeline, definitely it is going to take little time. So the National Curriculum Framework for School Education, NCF-SE, will be coming into existence in coming years, and all these points will be taken care. So it's good to see that national education policy is emphasizing more on learning rather than rote learning, but on the conceptual learning. So just towards the end, I'm going to just pass it out with a statement that being a teacher, it's our role that we try and support the education policy, because the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old but building the new. So we are the teacher and we are the nation builder towards it. Thank you, ma'am.
A true passionate teacher, Mr. Mahesh. I'm sure when NEP came in our hand, we were wondering from where to start and where to end. But you were the example of simple to complex. You have learned the maxim simple to complex so well. You made the reforms, NEP 2020 reforms for secondary and higher secondary level in such a simple manner. You touched upon skill-based learning, vocational education, multiple languages, regional languages, paper pattern, holistic report card, each and every point so smoothly and so well. Thank you so much, Mahesh sir. Really loved your energy, your vibe, the way you shared your perspective. God bless you, Mahesh.
Thank you, ma'am.